Japanese Whisky World. I'm your host, Kilara Sen. Yes, from this week, Japanese Whisky Lockdown is reborn as Japanese Whisky World. New title, new intro, and the same host in the same format and the same room. But don't worry, we will be seasoned and improving the taste as time goes on. Just like single malt. Lockdown is being lifted. In-N-Out Burgers reopened. It makes us uplifted. Right? Thank you very much for all of your support to Japanese Whisky Lockdown. どうもありがとうございました。Your enthusiastic support to Japanese Whisky Lockdown gives us motivation to keep moving forward. So, let's have a fun and great whiskeys together and cheers to the time of lockup. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are so happy to have this guy with us tonight, the owner of Dajani Groups and Nihon in San Francisco. Please welcome Khaled Dajani.
Thank you.
Hi, konnichiwa. The whiskeys behind you are all Japanese whiskey or?
And Nihon as a whiskey lounge has a collection of around 700 single malts. And of that 700 selection, we have about 120 expressions, different expressions of Japanese whiskey, difference between blended and single malt.
Wow, that's amazing.
And one thing I should mention about our collection, that over 50% of our expressions here are 18 years and older. So a lot of older vintages are found here in whiskeys. And when we first opened in the year 2005, the idea was to open it as a Japanese whiskey lounge. And the only Japanese whiskey at the time that was sold in the United States were two expressions from Suntory, which was Yamazaki 12 and Yamazaki 18.
How did you start this collection?
So it started when we first opened, our first day of opening. I think our selection was only about 120 whiskeys. And it was still the largest whiskey bar in San Francisco. And we continue. We are the largest single malt whiskey bar on the West Coast in the United States. Mm-hmm. How I did it, distilleries, distributors, they seek to come to us and feature their whiskeys here. So now we don't have a problem procuring whiskeys. Actually, if anything, now we're telling people, I don't want to feature this whiskey. I only want this expression. Now it's harder and harder to get older whiskey vintages because the world is going crazy. They're wanting that whiskey. And then you can see it, and we see it on a daily basis in what people are asking. They're constantly seeking Japanese whiskey.
If one of those customers come to your bar and if they ask, I want to drink the best Japanese whiskey, what would you recommend?
So if somebody says, I want to drink the best, I would recommend Hakushu 25. But if they don't like peat, I easily will go to, for them to try a Yamazaki 25, for example. Or if they want to go to a blended malt like maybe Nika 21-year-old. But majority of customers do have a price constraint. With a price constraint, I would go for the younger years. And so I think the best is within each category in what. And also within the style they like. So I'm going to give you let's use the perfect example of Hakushi 25 and Yamazaki 25. Somebody might not like sherry. Yamazaki 25 is an amazing a blowout of sherry, of the old sherry casks in it. But if somebody doesn't like the notion of sweetness of sherry in their whiskey, Yamazaki 25 might not be the best for them. And they're typically like peaty, smoky one. Hakushu might be the one for them.
Wow, that's great. That's great information. And yeah, maybe audience was like, it was really good reference for the audience too, I think. So are there any Japanese whiskeys out there that are next on your list to have a Nihon?
You know what? One of the whiskeys that I am eyeing to always keep now, we're looking to get more of it, is one of the amazing craft distilleries in Japan is Ichiru. He's releasing Ichiru whiskey. He's releasing phenomenal whiskeys, and he's experimenting. He's very creative, supposedly, to get it and have it. But for things I am targeting, I would like to curious to try are Ichiru whiskeys, more and more of them.
What are the 3 top bottles for customers who are seeking the best Japanese whiskeys?
Wow, that's a hard question. But if I would say the top 3, maybe the first one, and I would say Hakushu 25 would be my number 1 recommendation for a phenomenal whiskey. Hard whiskey to get, very expensive, but I can go to lower one, which would be Hakushu 18. That's a whiskey one can find and enjoy, and I think this is phenomenal. Ichiru on the way, that's a 3-year-old whiskey. That's an excellent high-proof whiskey. But I would say these 3, Hakushu 18, Hakushu 25, and Ichiru on the way, these are whiskeys that you cannot go wrong with in terms of Japanese.
Perfect. I really want to drink all. Great. What is the most expensive whiskey to buy at Nihon?
The most prized Japanese whiskey bottle we have is the Yamazaki 1984. This is a collectible bottle. So the selection is vast. This is the 1984.
Wow.
So this is a really very coveted, very special whiskey. This one are very hard to find. This one is the Karizawa 32-year-old.
Wow.
This is no more in circulation. As you know, the distillery is gone. And these are very hard whiskeys. I mean, you can look at the color. It's beautiful.
Wow. That's super cool. What does the year mean? Like 1984?
The 1984 was an anniversary for Suntory, so they actually distilled this whiskey. Now, what made this whiskey unique is not necessarily the age of this whiskey, because this whiskey is younger than a 25 or some other whiskeys Suntory releases, but the actual cask, the distillation of that year, the barrel this went in, the master blender or the distiller in Suntory, they really made a point to create a very nice whiskey, and they had a very little release of it, so now it's becoming a very coveted whiskey. Actually, that is the only bottle in our restaurant that we have that we're not selling.
Wow,
so
super special. Wow, fantastic.
Special because, I mean, we started with this Nihon started in 2005. First Japanese whiskey it sold was a Yamazaki. And then this one is a Yamazaki 1984. So it's a nice whiskey to hold on to.
Maybe a lot of audience got interested in your bars in San Francisco, and where can we find about those bars?
I think the best thing to know about us and to follow and see what we do on a daily basis nowadays is Instagram. So in Instagram, our Nihon Whisky Lounge, it's Nihon Nihon Whisky Lounge.
So Khaled-san, thank you very much for sharing your information and the great whiskey collections. That was really, really fun. どうもありがとうございました。
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
At entrance of many stores, employees wearing a face shield check the temperature of customers. And every time I'm like, are you recording my basal temperature for me? ありがとう。And if it is lower than 96.6 degrees, I give up shopping. Because my hormone should make me impulse buying. You know what I mean? Guys, ladies become different person every day. My dad should have known it for my mom. I'm an only child. Speaking of that, Did you gift Japanese whiskey on a Father's Day? We have a lot of amazing Japanese whiskeys, including Dekanta Aoi edition. Yes, Dekanta just passed 5 years anniversary. 5 years old, which is the same age as my inner child. And it said 5-year-old kids grow their communication skills. So now we'd love to communicate with you guys more. So please be free to leave your comments, requests, and questions below. And stick with us. We have a special guest from UK tonight. She is a singer from London. Her first album, New Skin, was a huge hit, and she has just released a new single, Giving Up. Please welcome John!
Hello!
Hey! Wow, thank you very much for joining us tonight. First of all, how did you get into music?
I don't remember ever not wanting to be a singer. From a very young age, my mum played loads of music. I always say that my mum kind of pumped music into the womb because just music was always on in the house. Yeah, I just always was singing. And then around the age of 15, 16, I wrote my first song. I started kind of turning my diaries into songs. So I loved and still love now classic soul music. And then I started releasing music, and here we are.
Wow. Do you have any process for writing songs?
I like to start from the lyric and the melody. Of course, you know, the creative process, I think it's good to do it many different ways to keep it new and to keep it interesting. So sometimes to be honest, it happens many different ways.
When do you get that kind of inspirations? Like taking a shower or?
Definitely a lot in the shower. I read that when you are in the shower, it puts your brain into a theta state, which makes you more relaxed and creative. So I sometimes wish I had a recorder in the shower. I'm in the shower, I get out and I like record on my phone and my hands are wet and I get back in and I get out again. I've had them from dreams as well, which is the one I find most interesting. One of my next singles has actually come directly from a dream. I woke up and I had this idea in my head and I had to like write it straight away. So I love it when that happens.
Wow, romantic. Wow, so romantic. Are there any songs based on your real experience?
Definitely, yes, 100%. I mean, I would say, you know, most of my songs are kind of, they feel like a sort of diary or a journal. You know, the type of songs that I grew up listening to, they were very honest. They were about love and feelings. For me, that's what a song is, you know. Generally, it's quite personal experiences and reflections made into sort of poetry and music. So that's the only way I kind of know how to do it.
Wow, that's cool. What are your plans for when lockdown is over?
My plans are to play some shows. I miss playing shows, and I've got all these new songs, and I really want to share them, and I look forward to collaborating with some other producers and artists. Yeah, I guess I just look forward to the freedom.
John-san, can I ask you a favor?
Of course you can.
Can you sing a song for us tonight?
Yes, of course I will. I would love to.
Arigatou! So what are you gonna sing?
I'm gonna sing my new single, which is called Giving It Up.
When I first saw your eye, thought you were right, not my type, but you pulled the thread and got in my head. By the end of the night, I can see a light in your eye, and you never got bored and keep telling me stories. So I thought maybe, for the first time, baby, you are the one. Thinking to myself, maybe he's the one that could save me from always being cynical and feeling overcritical. So maybe we'll stand tall. Maybe we all night giving it up. That's why. Give me that smile, giving it up. That's why. All night giving it up. That's why. You give me that smile, giving it up. That's why. So all night giving it up. That's why. Giving it up. When you give me that smile, giving it up. When I see you outside, giving it up. All night giving it up. That's why I'm giving it up. When you give me that smile, giving it up. When I see you outside, I'm giving it up. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Let's give it up.
Bravo! Arigato! Woo!
If you want to follow me on my Instagram, which is @ICJones, or if you want to hear more music, head over to my Spotify and just type in Jones, and I'll be there.
どうもありがとうございました。
ありがとう。
ありがとう。Did you watch the new intro titles? While I was collecting whiskies for Lockdown in the last series, now I deliver your orders at Dekanta to all over the world by my scooter. As you can see, during lockdown, I started a new job. Uber drinks. Police officers, don't worry. Yeah, actually I don't wear helmet because I wanna keep my hair nice, but I don't drink during a drive. Just watch the titles. Speaking of my hair, I finally got the chance to go to the hair salon and ordered, please do the hairstyle which suits a mask. And yes, many people started spending the time off with Corona. In Tokyo where I live, a lot of people started going out like normal. And many animals start to stay home. We need to avoid becoming unwelcome Uber Eats to the nature. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest for tonight. He is the founding member of the Drammers Club and an invite-only whiskey community. Having formed in New York among a group of friends, and it has grown to have branches in cities all across the globe, like Los Angeles, London, Warsaw, Tel Aviv, Mumbai, and Paris, to name just a few. Please give it up for Charlie Prince!
Oh, it's so happy to be here.
What do you do in the community? What do you do in the club?
Yeah, no, it's very simple. It started with the basic idea of, let's say I don't want to buy a $1,000 bottle of whiskey, right? But if I get together with some of my friends who I know love it, we'll split the cost, we'll try it, we'll just, get to share what we think of it. And it's more fun to try a rare bottle with friends anyway. We started meeting once a month. Me being me, I like a big party, I like lots of people. And so we went from like 10 to 15 people to now we have about 1,600 people globally in the different cities.
Wow. Have you done any events related with Japanese whiskey?
From the very beginning, everyone in the club has always wanted to try different Japanese whiskeys. So we do them all the time. I'd say the three most recent ones we did. Back in September, we had Ohishi-san, the owner and master distiller, the 5th generation from Ohishi, and we tried all of their whiskeys and learned about their whole kind of history and process of making rice whiskeys. More recently, in February, we had an incredible event with a little company, I don't know if you heard of it, called Dekanta, and tried a bunch of exciting essence of Suntory Japanese whiskeys and really rare stuff that we only got thanks to you guys. To be on this show is super exciting.
Do you have a Japanese favorite whiskey?
Japanese whiskey, specifically Yamazaki 18, was the first whiskey I fell in love with. But I will say, all the Mizunara cast stuff that's coming up is really exciting, and there's a lot of them. I don't know. I really, Probably still Yamazaki 18 though. I just, it's got a place in my heart.
You've tasted a lot of whiskey from all over the world, and what was the most different point about Yamazaki from others?
I think that was the first whiskey that I'll describe as a sherry bomb. That one, and just the right combination of smoke and the sherry bomb, I love it. It's so good. So I know there's others out there, but that was the one that just kind of grabbed me and was like, pay attention.
So how did you stay connected in the club during lockdown period?
Yeah, no, it was one of the things. It was really important to us to not, lose the connection between the members, because before the lockdown, I'd travel around. We'd meet once a month in every city, and I'd post a video or I'd post photos. But in the lockdown, we sat for a little bit, and I thought, all right, why don't I try this? So we did an experiment. I went to a distillery in Texas at the very beginning, and we did a virtual tour where we ended up picking these barrels. 2 barrels of whiskey we got at this Balcones distillery in Waco. So I went down. We did a tour, we said everything, and I asked the members, what are you interested in? Let's go here, let's go there. And we had 200 members log in from all over the world. They helped us pick which barrels of whiskey to buy, these folks. So that was the first experiment we did, and that went really well. So then we tried doing more events like that, and now we're basically doing 2 events a week. And so it's a chance for our members from all the different cities to have a drink together. So, and there's this real sense that the members now have friends who love whiskey in these other chapters of our club around the world. It's been really kind of exciting. As much as I would much rather get together and be able to give someone a hug at the end of the night, it's better than not being in touch with each other.
And did you have any special meeting, or did you have any surprising meeting with local whiskey in the foreign countries?
It's always been important to me that every chapter has a connection to the spirits here, because I think there's exciting stuff going on everywhere. So, for example, when we started in India, before we had our first meeting, I actually, reached out big Indian whiskey brands, and so we met with the folks from Paul John Whiskey. We met with the folks at Amrut. We flew around from Delhi to Mumbai to Bangalore to say, listen, we're starting our club here. We want to pay our respects. We want to work with you. We love your whiskeys.
If the audience of this show want to become a member, how can they become a member for your club?
Yeah, so we rely on existing members to recommend other members. So the first way you could become a member is you look on Facebook and you see, that person and I have a friend in common, and so let me reach out to them and see if they'll sponsor me for membership. If you don't know anybody, you can still become a member. What we do is we just ask you to reach out to us, and we'll usually try to set up a drink. If it wasn't in the shutdown period, then I would just arrange. I'd come when I'm in town. We'd grab a drink at the bar. It's got to feel like a club. I always joke, the whiskey is the excuse for us to be here. It's the people in the room is the reason we're here. Because I've made most of my best friends from this club. I mean, it's that social piece of it is, I think, more important than the whiskey in a lot of ways. So we prefer to grow slowly and have kind of good people than have a billion members. So.
Wow. What inspires you to grow the Drammers Club into such a global community?
It started partly just selfishly because I was traveling and I wanted to have the fun we were having in New York and some of these other places. And then it got a momentum all its own. It's so much fun, because there's something about whiskey. It's people who like whiskey get along no matter where they're from.
What whiskeys have you been enjoying during the lockdown?
It's interesting. Here in the United States, we're very worried that a lot of our craft distilleries are going to go out of business because of the different economic situation. So what we've tried to really focus on is to support them during this downtime. So our club has now bought 9 barrels of whiskey from different craft distilleries to try and give them a little financial jolt. But our goal is to try and support these craft distilleries in this time because they really need our help and we want them to be around afterwards. So I'd say I'm mostly drinking craft whiskey during the last few months. I love it.
Yeah. So thank you very, very much for joining us tonight.
Absolutely, and thank you for taking the time. I'm gonna keep watching the show, and I'm excited to be on it. And we're gonna keep buying whiskey from Dekanta because it's fucking great.
Cheers! Guys, thank you very much for tuning in to Japanese Whisky World. I believe you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to subscribe to Dekanta YouTube channel, like this video, share with your friends, and follow my social medias by Kilara Comedy. And be free to leave your comments, requests, and questions below. The next episode will be aired on July 10th, Friday night. Wow, July! Time flies! June! In Japan, it is very heavy raining season. So I've been drinking Japanese whiskey like June. But July, it's getting more humid, like mist shower. So I gotta drink Japanese whiskey like July too. In conclusion, we cannot live without Japanese whiskey. You have a great night, great day, and a great life. See you next time. Bye bye.